Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's quite a privilege and an honor to be here at ELC 2021, Authentic Leadership. Let me start by appreciating my senior pastor and the wife, Pastor Sam and Nike Ayemhere, for this unique opportunity and privilege. This is huge, and I don't take it for granted at all. I also want to thank all the associate pastors and leaders for this privilege to share this year's ELC. This year's ELC is on authentic leadership, and I'll be speaking today on thrive in your uniqueness. Thrive in your uniqueness. Authentic leadership, as we know, is about being real, being original, being yourself. So I'm going to try my best as much as possible to be real, to be myself, to be original. I'll share a few of my stories as we go on. And I'm trusting that together, as we journey this year and in the years ahead, we'll be able to advance and better our lots by the grace of God. All right, I will start by a little illustration about the ship. You know, you have in the ship, you have the captain, the shipmaster, and the travelers in the ship. So the ship is such a huge and massive stuff that you have the shipmaster and the travelers with different objectives. So the shipmaster comes in there with a crew, and their objective is to ensure that there is safety on board, and of course, and that the people have good and great experience. While the other travelers come in with different objectives as well. Some are traveling for holiday, some are traveling for anniversary, some just want to move from a point A to a point B. Some have meetings, whatsoever it is. But you see, the responsibilities of these parties are different. While the shipmaster and the crew, they are there disciplined and focused on ensuring that the people enjoy, they cannot be distracted because other people in the ship are not, with them in the bridge. They have to focus on what they are doing. This fact that people are having celebrations, having party and birthday does not change their focus at all. I see leadership as the responsibility of the shipmaster, whose responsibility or role is to ensure that the people traveling along with him in this voyage, they enjoy and have the best of experience. And to be a shipmaster, there are trainings you have to go through. There are seasons, there are disciplines you have to embrace. And that is what life is. Our life journey trains us for the responsibilities that are ahead of us. Our life journey gives us unique stories and experiences. And that is what separates us from every other person. And I think this conference this year is about being you, being original, being there knowing that you are on a journey for a purpose. And you must not be distracted. You can't be distracted because there are people in the ship that are having to celebrate or do other things that you are not paying attention to at the particular time. And so we see that as we go in life, many people have different experiences. Some not too complementary experiences. Some grew up in the environment that was not the best, as it were. Slums, challenges, difficulties in going to school. Some started their career in a place that if they had a choice and the option, they would not have wanted to. But what I have seen is that as we grow up, and get to the point or the position of influence and leadership, somehow we forget the reason why we have gone through our experiences and why we are where we are. We begin to enjoy the benefits of where we are, and we forget that God has allowed us to go through the experiences of life because of other people that are coming behind. We have gone through the things we have so that other people coming behind us will not have to go through the same experience. I grew up in this country, and at the age of about 11, 12, when I was in my primary 6, I suddenly had to stop my schooling. I was preparing for my common entrance, and a decision was made at home by our dad, who at that time was not too happy with the fact that my mom and my elder ones had decided to go to church. And so he called a meeting, and the question was, which do you choose? You want to go to church or you want to go to school? And the answer was, we want to go to church. From that moment, schooling stopped. I was just at about 11, 12 then, so I was not part of that decision, actually. But it affected me. From then on, I spent 3 years at home, not proceeding to secondary school. So while people were going to school, I was on the street hawking, all right? And that did a lot of things to me. My self-confidence, many questions in my heart. Why is this happening? I mean, I was not an orphan at that time, so why should I be? Those were my thoughts at that particular time. I asked so many questions, but I didn't have answers to them. But I was on the street. From hawking on the street, to traveling, to going to various markets. After about 2.5 years, I realized that I was not making any progress. People came to me, well-wishers, and said, young man, why are you wasting away? Go and learn a trade. As they said those to me, something in my heart rebelled against those statements. It revolted. I could not just accept it. So I saw myself one day, I woke up, I didn't have anybody to learn from or to ask questions about how people will work in the garage. So I found myself in the garage as a motor boy. I went there to look for work. I went there the first day, the second, the third, the fourth day. And then I said to myself on the 5th day that if I go to this place on the 6th day and I don't get anybody to, give me the opportunity to work, I know God don't want me to work. So on the 6th day, I went, stayed till about 9, 10 a.m., and nothing happened. So I turned back. I was just happy. I was just like, well, thank you. It's like you don't want me to do this job. But as I walked about 1 kilometer or 2 from the garage, I saw somebody driving an empty bus. I recognized that bus. It was one of the leaders in the church that we were attending at that time. So I waved him down. I flagged him down, and he stopped. And he asked me, what are you doing here? I said, I came to work. He said, work? I said, yes. Which kind of work? I said, motorboy. He said, enter. And that was how I started to work as a motorboy. Well, the rest is history. I went through my secondary school doing this work. On Saturdays, I go to work. Monday to Friday, I'm in school. Of course, on Sundays, I go to church. I did that through my secondary school. And while I was there, I saw some other people that came to do the same work. They were schooling and they came to work. But many remained, they didn't go back. I remember the day I worked and I got the money to pay my last school fees and graduation fee then from secondary school. I turned back after that, after receiving the money that evening, and I waved goodbye to the garage. I don't know what was leading me. Today I know it is the Holy Spirit. But I just said goodbye. But that's the reason why I went there. I went there because I wanted to work. I wanted to go to school. And so I stopped working. But of course, I now have a challenge in front of me. Because while I was working as a motor boy, I was paying my school fees. I was responsible for paying rent for my mom and where we were living, providing feeding. And of course, other siblings came around, visitors coming. So I was responsible for everything. So stopping that work at that time meant that I was going to look for another means. So, but graciously, I got another job as a sales boy. And while I was being employed, I told my employer at that time that I would like to go back to school and do my exams. And so when lectures resume, I want to go to school by 6 p.m., I think, or 4 p.m. I would like to go to lectures. He agreed at the beginning. But as we proceeded, I think he started enjoying my services. When the time came for me to go back to lectures, I told him, well, lectures have started. I want to go back. He said he would not allow me. I said, okay, thank you. So when the month ended, he paid me. I told him, thank you so much. I'm not coming back to work again. That was how I stopped that again. That meant again that I had to start another circle. So I saw myself, in building sites, working in building sites, helping in farms to ensure that I was able to raise money. let's fast forward because the time is short, so I'll fast forward. Now, I was working. I've gone through school. I was working as a trainee, and I needed to do my professional exams. The money I was receiving was not enough as well. And so I joined this rotational credit scheme in the office where about 4 of us will contribute on a monthly basis and we give to somebody and then to another. So I was doing 2 out of the 4. That meant that all my salary was gone. So I would have to trek a long distance to the library where I have to read, no money to buy books. So when I get to the library, if I see somebody that is reading a particular course A, I will go to read course B. I'll borrow the book quickly. When somebody's reading B, I'm reading C. And I remember that one of the diets of our exams, we finished and we were all coming back. We were gisting. The exam was this, the exam was that. I said, the exam was difficult, but I think I tried. Somebody turned to me and said, please don't talk again. Because you borrow our books and you alone pass the exams while all of us are not. There's something you are doing that I'm not doing. Or we are not doing. And I laughed. What was I doing? I didn't have money to buy my materials. So when I borrowed the book, I know that the time was limited. I had to quickly read the books, so that when the owner asks for it, I can return it to him. Quite an interesting journey. Today is interesting to share, but then it was not. It was not because it was painful. It was not because it was demoralizing. But there are a few things that I think I learned along the way that I will share as we go on today. I want to say that wherever we find ourselves today, we might not have been able to decide, our background, the family we were born into, the community, the city, we were born into. But you know what? We can decide what happened to us going forward. You can decide to accept where you are and remain and begin to complain. My dad didn't send me to school. The nation is not doing well. My employer is not supporting me. My parents are not giving me what I need. Or you can decide to say, you know what? I know where I am going to. I know what I want to become, and I'm going there. And if you're in a position of leadership today, don't settle there because things are looking well. Remember the fact that you would have gone through the process so that other people coming behind you don't have to suffer what you have suffered. We have been told that the benefit of inheritance is that 2 generations does not have to work for the same thing. If you have gone through pain, you have gone through challenges and difficulty, that means automatically you have been mandated to ensure that you make life better for those that are coming behind you. If you settle in there and enjoy the benefits and enjoy all the good things about it, then you are missing the essence of leadership. You are missing the essence of the journey that you have gone through in life. And that is not the reason why God would have allowed you or subjected you through that. At times we go through some experiences that are not even for us. It's because God wants us to go through those things so that we can help others that are coming. And one of the things I learned on this journey is that I have to be self-aware. I have to be conscious. I have to be conscious. And to be conscious, I know that there are a few things I have to do. I'm conscious of where I am. I'm conscious of where I'm going to. But there is a gap between where I am and where I'm going to. And I realize that for everyone upon the face of the earth, there is a ladder that connects us from where we are to where we are going to. And the ladder may have different steps. The length might be different. But we all are climbing different ladders. The ladders of life, the ladders of experiences. But you know what? Wherever you are on that ladder, there is something you are supposed to learn. There is something you are supposed to do. There is something that you are supposed to understand about it. So you might be on stage 1 or step 1 on that ladder, and somebody just started step 1 and it's on step 3, and you are distracted looking at that person and wondering why is that person running ahead of you. Listen, our ladders are different. The fact that somebody has gone ahead to step 3 on the ladder of life doesn't mean that the person is better than you. The fact that you are still on level 2 and somebody is on level 5 doesn't mean that that person also or something is wrong with you either. All of us must learn. So there are a few things I have learned on this journey from where I am to where I'm going to. Is it the fact that I don't have what to eat? I don't have who to sponsor me to school? I don't have how to pay my fees? But I know that I'm going somewhere. I know that the future can be brighter. I know that there is opportunity and there are opportunities in front of me. So what did I do? One is the fact that I realized that there is a step on that ladder called self-awareness. I needed to be self-aware. Somebody once said, I think it's Jane Vanier, he said, growth begins when we begin to accept our weaknesses. Growth begins when we begin to accept our weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. We all have challenges. But the moment we discover and realize that we do have these weaknesses, that is when we start to grow. Some people in this world are focused on making money at the expense of every other thing. They are willing and ready to sacrifice character, sacrifice integrity, sacrifice even friendship because they want to make money. Tony Robbins once said that some people are so broke, all they have is money. Money is good, but money alone itself does not sustain. Let us not run after those things that, are fileable. They can come today and disappear tomorrow at the expense of the true lessons that we are supposed to learn and the true value we are supposed to give people. Let me tell you something. Your story is your uniqueness. Your story is what makes you unique. No two people may have the same story. Yes, they might be similar. We might all be going to the same destination, but my story is what makes me unique. And you know what? As I embrace my story, I don't need anybody's permission to go to where I'm going to. Yes, I was a motor boy yesterday, but today I'm a qualified accountant. Today I have 2 masters. By the grace of God, I've gone to Harvard Business School, and I'm an alumnus, pardon me, of Harvard Business School, of Lagos Business School, of many other schools on earth. I have been able to add value to myself. The reason is this: when nothing is happening, everybody passes you by. But when something is happening, people will identify with you. If you stop where you are and refuse to move, you know what? People might pity you. What you need in your life is not pity parties. You need to advance. You need to advance. And to advance, you need to make decisions. Your purpose in life is what shapes your decisions. When you discover purpose, you start leading. Your purpose, when you say, this is where I'm going to, the decisions you make begin to align. So I said I wanted to go to school, and then my decisions began to align. What are the decisions? The decisions to go to the place that was not complimentary, to go and work as a motor boy, while others were going to school, to go to the site and work, while others were enjoying their teenage age. I was busy working. But today I'm glad, because if I had decided not to go, you know what would have happened? I would have still been maybe a cheap driver somewhere, and be complaining why my dad, did not sponsor me to school. My dad was working in the oil and gas, so he had the money to sponsor me at that time. So it was not that he didn't have the money, but it was a decision that they reached at that time, and I had to suffer it. So where are you today? What are you going through? Have you relaxed where you are and decided to embrace the unfortunate situation? Or you want to decide today and say, you know what? There is huge opportunity ahead of me, and I want to advance on that path. I want to move on. There's this world that everything in life remains in a state of standstill until a force is applied. There is a force you need to apply to your life today. The force of growth, the force of progress, the force of improvement. Don't stop where you are. I am grateful to God that He gave me wisdom to advance. Advance with your studies. Advance with your marriage. Advance with your career. Advance in the things that will add value to your life. Don't pay attention to what people will say or what people will not say. Hear me. Opinion we are made to know is the cheapest commodity. Everybody's got opinion. When you are progressing, people will have opinion about you. When you are not, people will have opinion about you. So if you decide on your ladder to where you are going to pay attention to too much opinion, you know what will happen? You will be so distracted that other people will go by and you are there just wondering, why is this person running ahead? Why is the other person running ahead? Please focus on where you are going to. Focus on the future. There's huge opportunity. This is what God said to me some time ago. I was praying about something and he said to me, he said, do you know that where you are, that's some years ago, where you are today, that if you were not a qualified accountant, that position would have been vacant when it was vacant, but you would not have been there. Somebody else would have occupied it. I said, yes. He said, that is what it is. That is what it is. He said to me, do you have information about opportunities in the aviation industry? I said, no. Do you know how many pilot positions are available? I said, no. He said, because you are not a pilot. So you don't know. So when you prepare yourself, you attract opportunities. When you are not prepared, you don't know what is happening. So there are so many opportunities in different spaces. The question is, are you prepared? Are you attracting them? Listen, if you are a Bible student, you know that God did not give Moses the rod that Moses used. The Moses rod was Moses' rod. He was working as a shepherd, you know, and it was that same rod that he used to shepherd sheep that God gave to him or used to do miracles. You need to find your rod in life. You need to embrace your rod. It is that rod that God breathes opportunity on. So the question today is, what rod do you have? Or what rod are you brooding? What rod are you training to learn or learning to use? You must learn. You must know the rod that you have, because God might not give you the rod. God is ready to bless the rod in your hand. So if I had not advanced beyond where I was then, I would have maybe been successful, but maybe as a motorboy or as a driver. Let me tell you this story also. 13 years after I left the garage, I got married. So I was in Lagos and my wife was in Benin. So we needed a vehicle to take our things down, you know. So we went to one of the popular transporters' office and they gave us a bus with a driver. When the driver showed up, I recognized him very well, but he did not recognize me. And then he looked at me and said, I think I know you somewhere. I said, okay, where? He said, we went to the same primary school. I said, no. He said, we went to the same secondary school. I said, no. He said, but I know you somewhere. But I know him very well. Or I knew him very well. The reason was because when we were working then, he was a relief driver. When the chief driver or the main driver was going to have some nap or have a few minutes of relaxation, he would give him the bus. And he would chase me around because he wanted me to buy a cigarette for him. And I would say, sorry, I don't buy cigarette for anybody. So every time he comes, we were always fighting. So 13 years after, he was still a driver. And here am I, married. You know, my car was there, my friends were there that were escorting me to Lagos, and it was to drive. And of course, at that time, that was about 16 years ago now. At that time, I was not willing to share the story of where we knew with him at all, because I just got married. I needed to enjoy my honeymoon. But that's life. So short a period. So if I didn't make a move, maybe I would have still be his motorboy, you know, carrying people all around. Decision, they say, is what determines destiny. It's not our condition in life. Let's move on quickly. The second thing I learned on this ladder is the step of responsibility. So, remember my journey. Now I was with my parents, my mom especially, and my siblings at that time, and I was working. My colleagues, I was a trainee. My colleagues then, they all had their own apartments. Everybody, you know, wall-to-wall rugs, side beds, side fridge and TV. And I didn't have that because I was living with my mom. I was carrying all the responsibility. And so I just wanted to run away. I wanted to just go and rent an apartment and have a bedside fridge, wall-to-wall carpets, and just live on. As I was muting that idea, you know, I went to a program somewhere. I think it was School of Ministry with Archbishop Benson Idahosa of blessed memory then, 1997 or early 1998. And Bishop Oyedepo came. He was preaching. I can't remember all the things that happened, but there was a word that jumped at me. He said, if you run away from responsibility, you die a liability. Wow. That was it for me. And something told me that, Blessing, this is you. If you run away from taking this responsibility or from continuing this responsibility of paying rent, of ensuring that you are supporting your mom and your siblings, you are going to end up a liability. You know what? You are going to really enjoy this one room with side bed, fridge, and TV. But you might not grow beyond that level. So from that day, I learned not to handle responsibility, but to love responsibility. I went back home and I started doing what I was doing before, but this time I enjoy doing it. And that has been my principle as I go on. I love responsibility. People might not know the reason why I do what I do, but that is what God told me some time ago. I love it. I do it. And I want to challenge somebody here today. Stop handling responsibility. Love responsibility. When it comes to loving responsibility, it means doing more than you're actually paid to do. It means adding value beyond what you are supposed to do. Love responsibility as you go on. Of course, I didn't have anybody to help me. So responsibility, loving responsibility, handling responsibility, embracing responsibility was key for me. We must learn to appreciate where we are on the way to where we are going to. It might not be convenient. It might not be palatable. It might not be exciting. But we must know that we are on a journey to a destination. And that journey is preparing us for something bigger. I remember also some time ago, talking about responsibility, I was assigned a particular responsibility. We're having some visitors from, Abuja come to Lagos, and that has been prepared for about 1 week. I was assigned to be the one to welcome these inspectors, and take them through the process. Then that weekend, they were to come on the Monday. That weekend, on Friday, I got a call from one of the big oil and gas company, or rather a mail from the big oil and gas company inviting me for interview on that same Monday. I told myself, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. I loved the opportunity. I wanted to move. But I can only do that if I lie that I'm not coming to office. I have to give the reason why I will not come to office and attend to the people that I have been prepared to attend to for so long a time. So I checked everything. I tried to call them. They were picking their calls all through the weekend. And on Monday, I had to be in the office by 10 a.m. And I missed that opportunity. When my friends and colleagues heard, they laughed at me. They said, you are a fool. You don't know what you are doing. You that have been saying you want to leave this place and this huge opportunity comes and you miss it. For what? This place where you are not valued? This place where you are not respected? You would have gone. But today I look back and I'm grateful to God because He has not only, advanced my career, I am happy at the journey that He has taken me through. You see, you cannot help God on your journey. You cannot say because you desire something big, you break the rules. There are principles of life. There are principles, there are things you cannot break. And so some of us are where we are today, not because we are not better than it, because of the decisions we have made. We have tried to advance because we want to help God on this journey. Please, can I advise you, can I encourage somebody that please don't try to help God. If you want to trust God fully. If you want to help yourself without trusting God, then just go and help yourself. But I think that there is a better way, and that is trusting God as you go in the process. We are aware of the story of Joseph. Joseph was going to the palace, but he had to go through the experience of being sold as a slave. He went to jail, and from there he went to palace. Every of the steps we are going through, it might be going from bad to worse, but we have been told that you cannot continue to do the right thing and end up with the wrong result. If you know you are doing the right thing, continue on that path. Even if it's not producing the immediate result, please continue on that path. you will not miss it. You know, I was working and I had a very terrible boss at the earlier stage of my career who was very insecure. So I went through a lot of pain and challenges. And it got to a particular point where, you know, the man left. And I was happy. I was happy the man has left. My problem is gone. And then all of a sudden, God said to me, it is time to leave. I'm like, God, I have been here praying for the change to happen. And now, the principality sitting on my promotion is gone. And you said I should leave? He said, it's not compulsory that it is where you work that I will reward you. He said, it's now time to move on to the place where I will bless you. So I want to also tell somebody, you might be somewhere where you have not been celebrated or appreciated. And you are thinking that the next journey, you know, is the one that you must do by yourself. Or you are expecting that God must bless you in that place, and God is saying to you, it is time to move. I want to challenge you to be sensitive on your journey. I will talk about influence also as a step on the ladder. Influence. You will get all you want in life if you help enough people to get what they want. That is Zig Ziglar. He said you will get all you want in life if you help enough people to get all they want in life. Some of us have gone through pain and challenges, difficulties, that you know what? We have made up our mind that because we suffered 5 years on that journey, other people are going to do 5 years and above. We don't think that we can help people shorten their journey. We don't think we can help people attain faster because they must go through the same pain. That is not leadership. It means that you are missing the essence of what God has prepared you for. You know, as we go on influence, you have to teach people. Teach people to avoid the pitfalls that you went through in life. Teach people to ride on, you know, your experiences and excel. Help people to climb up. Help people to advance in life. Don't sit down and say, oh, I went through pain. You must go through ×2 of that pain. Challenge people on your path also to go on. Challenge people to be different. Challenge people to go ahead because your experience is unique. And there is a reason why you have gone through your experience. It is because of the people that God has prepared you to help in life. Identify those people. And what will bring those people to you is your unique nature, your uniqueness. Let me share this story also. You know, when I just picked up a job some years ago, early stage of my career, I remember someday my boss would come down from his office upstairs. We were in an open office. And he said to me, Auditor, you are going to Abuja tomorrow. You know, there's a meeting you have to go and attend. And I said, thank you, sir. All right. And then he went and turned back again and said, have you flown on the plane before? I said, no. And he started a story. He started to tell us while he was in primary school, you know, or in secondary school, how he would travel every holiday. And everybody around me in that open office, they were all laughing. They were all giggling and laughing, more like. And I was ashamed because, you know, don't forget my experience, where I'm coming from. So I was trying to hide a lot of things. And some people were laughing at me. Anyway, I went on that journey and I came back. And then when I came back to the office, people surrounded me, my friends. They were asking, how was your experience? I told them. And I said, hold on. Have you flown before on plane? This one said, no. Have you? No. I said, why were you laughing at me? Why were you all laughing at me? Then I learned a lesson then. That you see, people might be laughing at you or making jest of you. It doesn't mean that they are better than you. In fact, people that are hurting other people. People want to ride on other people's misfortune to feel good. And people feel that by making you feel bad, that is when they can feel good. See, don't because of people change who you are. So I learned that day that if I had decided to lie just to belong, I would have missed the opportunity to truly share my first flight experience with the people that have not flown before. There are so many experiences that you carry that are unique to you. They are unique to you. And the only way others can benefit from that experience and story is when you are sincere and you are genuine with sharing who you are and what you have done. So I want to challenge somebody here today to try and be sincere. Be who you are. Don't pretend to be who you are not. You are not competing with anybody. We are not. This life is not competition. We are all going to the same destination, but the route and the roads are different. We all have different responsibility. Let's focus on the big picture. Let us not be distracted because other people are running ahead of us. Let us stay where we are supposed to stay. Abraham Lincoln once said, I am a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. I am a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. People believe in us. People trust us. People have been placed around us so that we can influence. You remember the story of David? You know, when he was running away, people, vain men, gathered themselves together. People that were also having challenges, they gathered themselves together and they surrounded him and he became their captain. So there is something unique about your story. There's something unique about you. Don't change it. Don't move because, you want to belong. It's good if you can, but don't change who you are because you want to belong. All right? I'll talk quickly also on the issue of discipline as another step in the ladder. Discipline is key. In order to attain to the destination where you are going to, you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. The culture of discipline is a principle of greatness. The culture of discipline, that is the true spirit of leadership, cultivates a self-control that regulates one's focus and others one's life. That's according to Dr. Myers Moreau of blessed memory. The true spirit of leadership cultivates that self-control. You have to be able to pull yourself back. You see, power is very interesting and exciting. When you are up there, you have power, there is that temptation to want to relax and enjoy the benefits. And where even your actual rights and benefits cannot sustain your position, you want to begin to take things that does not belong to you. That's why today people that are having, responsibility to execute projects, they are busy thinking about their pocket, not the good of other people, because they have built life beyond what they can. Be financially disciplined. Live within your means. Don't compete with anybody. Don't try to impress anybody. If you have it, enjoy it. Please, if you don't have it, stay within your means. Be disciplined in knowledge acquisition. There's this saying when it comes to knowledge, that knowledge is power. Information is currency, and innovation is success. So embrace knowledge, embrace information, be innovative in what you do, advance. I had to find a way to combine things. I was working, I was doing my professional exam, I was responsible for a lot of things, but I moved on. I couldn't pay fees, but I moved on. But one thing I realized was, as I did my first exam, my second exam, my third one, and I passed them successively. My final exam, I didn't suffer. Somebody actually collected the salary and brought to me and said, you know what? Blessing, take, go and qualify. When you start advancing, because you have decided to move on, people will support you on your journey. Be disciplined in capacity development. Don't waste any opportunity to develop capacity. Continue to add value as you move on. Your marital destiny, also be disciplined in it. Don't, because things are better now, you now begin to think that you want to exploit. And of course, because of time, I might not go through all. I will say also be disciplined in obedience. Finally, let me talk about audaciousness. Being audacious on this journey. You need to be audacious. What counts in life is not the main fact that we have lived. It is what difference we make to the lives of others that will determine the significance of life we live. For my part, I know nothing with certainty, but the sight of the stars, makes me dream. The first statement I made was by Nelson Mandela. The fact that what counts in life is the impact that we make. Be ready to make bold steps, take bold decisions. The story of our life is what makes us unique. When the stakes are high, somebody said, can your integrity quotient withstand it? When the stakes are high in life, when the offerings are high, can you still stand? I've had many opportunities on my journey to quickly solve that poverty problem, that challenge problem that I had. But I've had to make very tough decisions. And you know what? The reason is because where I am is a privilege. It's not a right. I'm not here because I'm the smartest guy on the street. No, I am here because I've been helped. So if I decide to put my hand on what is not mine today, I am being arrogant and being ungrateful. Because where I am today was a dream that I never even thought would come to pass. Make failure also a learning portal, not a destination. Don't let failure stop you. Learn as you go on. Choose to dare. Sacrifice as you go on this journey. Be courageous as you go on. Be creative. And you know what? Honor the struggle as you move on. I will round off by saying this. Leadership is a service to people and not to serve oneself. No matter what we acquire in life, there is a separation from this earth that awaits all of us. Legacy is what we should pursue and the value that endure. Let me say that we all, like light, should shine. Let us shine wherever we are. If you shine in that little place you are, in that department, from the department, you shine in your company, from the company to the industry, from the industry to the state, from the state to the nation, and then to the continent. You know what? The lights come together, and we all can make huge impacts in life. I challenge you today to love your story, embrace your story, be who you are. You don't need anybody's permission to be who you are. Enjoy where you are on your way to where you are going to. I trust that in a short while, we'll all meet again and celebrate. And if you are making good progress, please advance to the next level. Thank you and have a wonderful time.